The core four are the superstars of last night. They are going to be the next big thing that Peacock is going to push for the next year, and we've got to get into all of it. Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. Not me neglecting y'all for almost a week. My apology sincerely. Pun intended. But ultimately, I was a little busy on my other channel. But even that, I was overall busy with the job. So, but this week, y'all are going to get sick of me. This week, you are going to get sick of me because we've got a lot to catch up on. We have a lot to catch up on. I believe the last time I talked to y'all was when Anaya went to the Atlanta Dream game, met Angel Reese, met Reginae Carter, and all the things, who was 10 toes down for her throughout the season and all of the things. I believe that is where we left off. And there is so much we got to cover, you guys. I don't know if I'm going to have time for clips for this video because there's a lot that I just got to tell y'all. So what happened since then was I noticed some of the Islanders were trying to rewrite history. Parmita apparently has a YouTube or has something to where she was trying to twist the story around that she was not laughing at Anaya crying when we saw the clip at the Casa Amor recoupling conclusion, and it was her, it was Corbin, it was TT, it was Casey, and everybody, and they were laughing, and I believe it was you that was like, who gets wifed off after 3 weeks? Who gets married off after 3 weeks? Only for y'all to turn around and quickly, you know what I'm saying, accelerate your relationship. No shade. Soul, we still had being messy in the comments. It seems like she kept going to the salon to try to get her wig right for the reunion. I personally think she should have continued to rock the pixie cut. But it's clear that she really just wanted a wig. But I don't know who's doing her makeup, but they have her stuck in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? With the bright eyeshadow, the bright color eyeshadow, the very dramatic eyebrows, and all of the things. But either way, it is not working. There was rumors for some reason that Soul was not going to be at the reunion, and I was here to tell y'all, everybody's contractually obligated to be there. That technically would be your last contractual obligation outside of the 1-year non-compete that you signed for you to film the reunion. Unless you got kicked off the show, like, what was her name? Alana from Casa Amor, y'all are all expected to be there. Even most of the Casa men that might have been there for 2.3 seconds is there at the reunion. Because I saw Carl had a little sit down, had a little powwow with some of the Casa people. No. But listen, that is the people, unfortunately, that he bonded with, right? That a lot of them, unfortunately, are clout chasers. So, where we left off, right? Not all the girls yet are signed with agencies, but it did come out that Kata is going to be with UTA, you guys. And I'm still waiting official confirmation on Melanie, on where things are going to go for her. If it's going to be UTA, well, what is it going to be? Is it going to be CAA? I haven't heard anything official yet, but I'm still just keeping my eye out on that. Also, we had as well, the Core 4 had their debut, you guys, in Los Angeles. And I'm not talking about last night. I am talking about the Variety. They had an award show. I believe Trinity was being honored as well. But ultimately, that was the Core 4 debut. But we technically didn't get a Core 4 picture. And I don't know if this is a Peacock issue or what. But it seemed like intentionally up until last night, we would see 2 together, 3 together, or if 4 together, they would not post on social media all 4 of them in the same shot. And to me, it is giving Peacock wants to milk Core 4, you know what I'm saying, until the wheels fall off. They want to do with the Core 4 that they couldn't do or failed to do with PPG, is what it sounds like to me. It was the first red carpet appearance for the Core 4 and everything else. So I'm going to give people grace. Some of y'all are being so mean about these looks. You guys are acting like these 20-something-year-olds, you know what I'm saying, have been professional, have been models since they were 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? They know all the top designers. They know all the makeup routines. They know all the things. And I am here to tell you I have a bridge to sell you. That is not the case. That is not the case. Some of y'all are trying to be social media managers. Some of y'all are trying to be their PR teams. Some of y'all are doing too much. Just enjoy the content your favorite Islander does for you. But see, here's what's happened. Stan Wars on Twitter and a little bit on the Tickety Talk and sometimes on Threads and Reddit, y'all do too much. I keep telling y'all, no matter how many hate tweets y'all put out, Core 4 is the brand. Core 4 is the brand. Beatrice, Kenzie, Soul, y'all need to get in line and get information on what it is and what it isn't. Because what happened was, you got Dylan liking messy comments on the Tickety Talk, alleging that Kenzie was bullied by the Core 4. No. And then you got Kenzie liking one of a TikTok commentator's post that basically Kenzie needs to come at X, Y, and Z, frontward and backward, inside and out, to the Core 4 ladies at the reunion. No. Let's just keep it a buck. And Kenzie even said this on her Call Her Daddy interview, right? She said that she is jealous of the fact, even though she didn't watch the show back at this point, she's jealous of all the screen time Melanie received compared to her. Which is why on that live that Soul did with all the Casa people, you heard Kenzie in the background, they were talking about Melanie, and she confirmed on Call Her Daddy basically that if you filmed with Melanie, you were going to get all the screen time, you were going to get all the storylines, and specifically wanted to point out that Melanie filmed the most with, she was always pulling Anaya and Trinity for chats, and she was jealous of that, so she created her own alternate alliance with Jen and Soul until basically she was talking about Soul behind her back, saying she is not to be trusted. But my thing is, your friendship with Melanie fell apart because of the Corbin of it all situation. It fell apart over a man because you were kissing that man Dion behind Melanie's back and you were jealous because that man was interested in her. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Even Parmita, aka Persian Cat, is a little bit rattled. She doesn't like all of y'all spamming Corbin and Melanie on the Tickety Talk in the comments. But I do believe there was a genuine connection there. Corbin was just horny. Corbin just wanted to smash Kenzie or get as far as he could physically with her. That was it, and that was all. None of the other girls were trying to put out for him. That's what it was. So I hope, Kenzie, while you're liking those messy posts about the Core 4, I hope you have smoke for Corbin at the reunion, who has said on multiple interviews that he believes you and Dylan are fake. Now, listen, not too much on Kenzie. I actually don't disagree with Corbin's take on that, but I just don't understand Kenzie's approach if she thinks attacking the Core 4 is going to be good for her. The only person who is getting the PR right outside of the Core 4 since leaving the show is Caleb and Jen. They understood the assignment. They quickly got to 1 million followers or whatever the case may be. And it's been brand deal after brand deal after brand deal. They're getting to the money. Everybody mad. They came out. They did interviews. They said, listen, look at here. We don't got problems with nobody. Primarily Jen, because Caleb was a little wishy-washy on After Sun and being a little weird, but I feel like he's PR'd up now, right? But Jen from the jump was like, I love everybody. I'm obsessed with everybody. Everybody's an amazing friend. Da-da-da-da-da. We keep thinking Kenzie's Kaylor, but it's really Jen. We just don't know too much of Jen's personality, and she didn't have a good run in the villa, right? Of us seeing the men really kind of be interested in her. And we will see if her and Caleb, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, give it a shot, whether it's real or not, for the bag. Outside of the villa, I guess that might potentially be a reunion storyline update on what is going on with the two of them, right? So we had that going on social media, right? We also had fans that were trying to pin Trinity and Anaya against each other because for the millionth time, I don't know what it is. Y'all do not believe that there is enough opportunities in the room for multiple black women. Some of y'all have brainwashed yourselves that only one black woman can be successful, that there can only be one Beyonce, there could be only one Rihanna. Nobody else is allowed at the table. Nobody else is allowed to have a seat. Nobody else is able to be a success. And I don't like that. And then y'all de-campaign people and y'all set y'all faves up. And see, both in several fan bases, it doesn't matter who your profile picture is because y'all be talking trash about everybody. Let me say that again. Some of y'all, it doesn't matter who the profile picture is. Y'all be trashing everybody. And then when you get called out, you want to try to blame another fan base. No. It's all of y'all. It is all of y'all. But the problem is, y'all are making the genuine fans look bad. And it's giving at this point, either you secretly hate these Islanders or you're so desperate for a hit tweet or a hit post, you don't care who hits, right? You don't care who it hits. But it's already bad enough. You already have a male-dominated fan base that specifically is attacking Trinity and Anaya up and down and through here every day. We don't need the women infighting. The women fan bases infighting as well. Y'all need to be one band, one sound. And then we have a situation where there are some season 7 fans. I don't know if y'all are new fans, but this thing where it's like, you claim that you weren't going to watch season 8. And oh, by the way, an article came out. Season 8 is the most watched season of Love Island USA of all time. They have the final figures in. Y'all went crazy this season. For those of y'all that claim you were not going to watch this show is going to fall off. Nobody's going to be bigger than the program. Da-da-da-da-da. But it exceeded the program. It is creating a brand new program as we speak that is bright lights, camera, action for the core 4. And Jen and Caleb. That's what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? That if you're cool with the core 4, you might get a little bit of this action. You might get a little bit of this brand deal that we're about to be on. So doing all of this nonsense, right? There's all these fan bases that are nitpicking at everything. And I really hate the way that you guys are attacking Anaya's looks. It is flat out disgusting. It is flat out disturbing. I don't like it. Y'all need to pack it up. And trying to go crazy about the Facetune allegations once again. And here's the thing. Anaya hasn't even posted on her Instagrammies in quite some time. You know what I'm saying? So I stood on this. I believe that both Anaya and Carl, but mainly Anaya, she's one of those people, one of those individuals that when she takes a photo, even if it's at the same event, and let's say you take 10 or 20 photos of her, it has the potential to not look like the same photo, depending on her reaction, depending on whether or not her makeup is worn off for the evening, depending on several factors. But I never got Facetune allegations. And then the biggest difference, too, is whether there is lighting or no lighting. But that has nothing to do with Facetune. But some of you guys just want Anaya to be a catfish so bad, and there are too many receipts and too many pictures on Getty Images that debunk those lies. She is a beautiful black woman, and y'all need to get it together. Y'all need to hang it up flat screen and stop the madness. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. So what happened was, Anaya and Trinity and Kata have all created channels on Instagram. So on the Instagrammies, you can create a channel, it's like a free channel within your page to where you can send updates to your followers on what you're up to. So if you've got a new post and you want them to go flood the post and everything else, you can send an update in that channel. So with Anaya, she let the people know, listen, I'm gonna show y'all some behind the scenes stuff. Here's a behind the scenes of, what I did. You guys get to look at these pictures first. You guys get to vote. What picture is your best? What type of content do you want to see? Because her vlog, she's done a couple of vlogs on the Tickety Talk, and it's doing crazy numbers, right? Because she did a little behind the scenes one of her in New York for Watch What Happens Live. She says she has an ebony shoot coming out. We had talked about it. She also did, say she was going to do another vlog, and she ended up posting it in her channel today. And that one was when it was just her and Melanie and Kata. They all had a sleepover. It may or may have not been at Bryce's. It might have been there. But I wasn't sure at that point in time if Bryce and Trinity had got back to LA or not. Anyways, they had a sleepover. They had a time. Melanie and Anaya are super duper close. It was cute because Anaya was like, I get to reunite with my cousin Trinity. And then she called Kata her half cousin. But it's all in good fun. Then Anaya has made Billboard because her and Melanie she was trying to teach her some type of cat's eye audition. And here's the thing, I'm not too familiar with their music. And I saw Cardi B's daughter Culture is a huge fan and took her and her friends. But I am aware that there are 2 members who had to leave the group for mental health reasons and everything else. So there are technically, Melanie and Anaya, 2 spot openings for Cat's Eye. So there's that, but I don't really know their music. I'm not really familiar, right? Also, as well, I believe also Kenzie and Dylan went to a movie premiere for, is it called All for One Night or All in One Night? It's called something, but I guess allegedly, spoiler alert, in the movie, I don't know the storyline or anything, but there was shade that the Empire State Building is the least romantic place to do anything romantic or like a girlfriend proposal or anything like that. Something along the lines that was said. And Dylan, of course, was begging like he sweat for those photographers, for those videographers, so he could do a girlfriend proposal at the Empire State Building. Listen, I do not feel that Anaya and Carl are wrong in feeling as though that Kenzie and Dylan rushed. I know that Dylan is an actor, went to drama school, and the way he busted out them tears when Kenzie told him that she kissed Gal, I had my eye on him. You know what I'm saying? And Kenzie looked so pissed that she had to reconcile with him the next day when she gave that hug. And her eyes were looking like, oh man, I can't believe I gotta make this work. I gotta make this work because it is post-movie night. Kenzie's routine is on full blast, is on full display for everybody. So Dylan's gotta lock in. You know what I'm saying? But he's got reservations. But how do you go, Dylan, from having all these reservations in the villa, having all these concerns in the villa with Kenzie, still leaving the villa, getting your phone back, and still trying to take it one day at a time. And then the moment Kenzie said, well, I want to be exclusive, you completely, it was like a switch went off, and you just went with whatever Kenzie wanted. But you still had those reservations. And then when you got on the official After Sun appearance, you're like, oh yeah, we're exclusive. And then barely how much long had passed after that, oh yeah, now we're boyfriend and girlfriend. No. even Kata and Zack Attack aren't boyfriend and girlfriend. They might be now. They might be something that they will announce at the reunion. I am unsure about Sincere and Melanie, right? Unsure about Sincere and Melanie, where they stand. I know they're obviously together, but it seems like they're being the most private out of the core 4 couples because of the amount of dislike that Sincere has. But what I don't understand with y'all fans, y'all don't like Sincere, but y'all be begging him for pictures and videos and to do TikToks with y'all when y'all see him in person. Make it make sense! Y'all also saw Carl a lot because his bestie lives in New York, and also y'all spot him all the time in Denver. Y'all are always getting pictures with Carl. Y'all always see Carl all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that is on that as well. Also, what has happened too, I believe Corbin put out another video, or a couple other videos on the YouTube, but it was more so like a workout video, and it featured Parmita. So I feel like he's really going to step up his content creation game on YouTube. There's no follow-up video on the couples channel for Casey and TT, and that was my whole point. If y'all gonna do a couples channel, y'all gotta be consistent. If you're going to be on YouTube, you've got to be consistent. I have 3 YouTube channels. It's not easy, you guys. It is not easy. It is very hard in terms of, you know what I'm saying, committing to consistent content because you are managing this, but you still have a real life after this. And in my case, and in other people's cases, you have a real life job. So imagine having a real life job, imagine having real life situations, and imagine in my case having 3 YouTube channels. It's insanity. It is loco. It is crazy. So hopefully Corbin sticks with it. I think he has the potential to do really well, and he also wants to stream. And it appears that him and Gabe have gotten extremely close. I have been peeping the little tickety talks that he's been doing, and Gabe is not too far away from Corbin. So it's like the Miami crew of Corbin, Gabe, and Parmita. They seem to have really locked in on their friendship and all of the sorts. So that is on that. Sincere, I have not really seen him out with, I was actually a little bit surprised. I have not seen him and Casey together. I was peeping that, and I haven't seen Casey with any of the other Islanders outside of when Corbin got to LA for this reunion, because I believe all of the Islanders are staying at the same hotel for the reunion. But it looks like there have been different groups of guys that have been hanging out, and I've not seen Casey in that mix. So that is something I'm going to keep my eye on, because I am wondering what the approach is going to be at the reunion. If Casey feels betrayed by the men, or did he watch the entire show back and has a different take on Zack Attack, on Bryce, or even Sincere? Is Corbin really the only one he's fooling with? Like, I want to know what he's feeling like for real. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, because that is going to be a very interesting conversation to see happen. On, you know, the cast has been out here in LA for at least a day or two with all of the reunion stuff that we're going to get to in a moment, and I haven't seen Casey around anybody except for Corbin. So also Trinity on her channel, she put out a statement that y'all are not going to break up her and Anaya's bond. You are not going to do anything to destroy her and Anaya's friendship. They love each other down. That is her cousin. Y'all leave them alone. Y'all stop y'all nonsense. Y'all are not going to say or do anything to pin them against each other. It's not going to happen. And I'm so glad the smartest thing the Core 4 has done is not have Twitter. It's different that their family might be on there and their family can tell them how bad Twitter is. But I am so happy that if for nothing else, Anaya and Trinity especially do not have to see how bad the hate is over there. I truly love that for them. Because it gets to a point, and I feel like this has ruined some of the Islanders in past seasons, being all caught up on Twitter. Everybody's going to hype you up, and this is what Sol and Beatrice failed to realize, right? People are going to hype you up. Don't get it twisted. but they're also going to maybe embellish or make things worse than it seems against the same castmates, against the same islanders that you lived in that villa with. Now, if you have a legitimate beef with an islander, it's one thing. But if you are specifically beefing with certain islanders because they're more popular than you, then they got more motion than you, then this is not going to end well. And then if you are only having smoke for the women of Core 4, but you're not having any smoke for the men, that, you know what I'm saying, we're not always the best of the best in this villa, and a lot of them did some diabolical and trifling things and disrespectful things to these ladies, but you still want to hold the women to a different standard and not the men. You want to be male identified. No. That is where, you know what I'm saying, we're not on the same page. We're not on the same page, because what do you mean that you forgive Sincere, but you've got all this smoke for Melanie? And I keep trying to tell y'all, Melanie is going to do whatever she's going to do. And Anaya is not the only islander that is in support of whatever Melanie and Sincere got going on. Y'all all got friends. Y'all all got family. Y'all all got people that you are close to. And at least one person in your lifetime was in a relationship, was in a marriage that you did not approve of. That you knew this dude was no good, this dude was a liar, a cheat, all the things. But it got to a point where you didn't want every interaction or every conversation that they're complaining and venting to you about said relationship, about said marriage. That every single time you're like, you should leave him. I don't want him a part of this family. I don't think this is healthy for the friendship, that you're still dating this guy, da-da-da-da-da. If you keep giving that energy, guess what happens? They're either A, not going to bring that person around anymore, or B, you're not going to see them anymore. They're not going to talk to you. Because you've made it known that you don't like them as a couple. You don't like their significant other, so they're not going to bring them around. They're not going to talk to you as much, or they're not going to tell you as much about that relationship or about that marriage, because they know how you feel. Anaya said week 2 that this is going to be the toxic couple that's going to break up, get back together, all the things, all the sorts, and that's exactly what's happened. But it seems that they intentionally are keeping things private at this point because they know how weird you guys are being. I get it. But you can't force Melanie to do what she doesn't want to do. And she said in that villa she wants to give Sincere time to get himself together. That's what she said. So we got to just see how it plays out, if it's going to work or not. Next, Zack Attack is back in Los Angeles. It sounds like he wants to move there. I don't know if Kate is planning on moving there or if she's going to be staying back in New Hampshire. So I guess we will have to see. We got to talk about yesterday. So yesterday was a big day for the Islanders. The first part that was kind of a shock, but not a shock, is the Core 4 and their men got to film at Universal Studios. Now, this is something that Peacock did season 6. However, I do not recall seeing the footage season 6. I mean, like in the form of incorporating it as an episode or the reunion or any of the things, but I remember the footage. What happened last season with Universal Studios, the Islanders paid out of pocket for that and paid for their own security, because that was something that Ace had coordinated with. It was him and Shelly, and it was Nico Landria, and it was Taylor and Clark. Kind of wild even saying that in that capacity, but Ace put all that together. It was his security, because I believe one of his relatives is like a bodyguard or something or whatever else, and had his own videographer and stuff, because he was previously a content creator before the show. So they did that on their own. That had nothing to do with the show, but season 6 did have to do with the show, and this season 8 has to do with the show. Love Island USA has been putting out content every day on their social media, specifically about the Core 4 Islanders and their men, and then every once in a while showing us some more behind the scenes photos and behind the scenes content. But they've never posted like this any other season, so to me it feels like they want to really monetize these Islanders, but I just hate that they put them on this media ban the way that they have, because it feels like we could be getting to know these Islanders more, and it just feels like we can't. It just feels like they're limited on what they can and cannot post and what they can and cannot talk about, and it seems like Peacock wants to still be in control of all of that. In the midst of them being at Universal Studios, Anaya's mom and Carl's mom are in Los Angeles, and they went out to eat. They went out to brunch, y'all. I love the fact that the families are getting so close, like Trinity and Bryce's family, and Neil, Carl's mom, and Anaya's mom. And the sister, Anaya's sister, Angel, loves Carl Dean and calls him her brother-in-law. And it's just really great. And then I also love the sisterhood amongst the Core 4 siblings. So Anaya's sister, Angel, did a cute little tickety talk about Quiet on the Creek and everything else, and has been doing a lot of posting on there. Why is Trinity, Kata, you know what I'm saying, Melanie, that they're all like, hey, you know, Melanie, because her and Anaya joke that they're wives. She's like, my sister-in-law. I love the closeness. I really want the Core 4. Ignore the noise on social media. Some of these fans are protective of one of y'all or two of y'all or three of y'all out of the Core 4 and want to bash the other person. Y'all keep y'all friendship intact. Ignore the hate. Ignore the negativity. All that is they want to try to divide and conquer and just try to only make one of y'all a star when all four of y'all can be stars, which is evidenced by last night. So it was funny because there was a scene that production made it seem like, you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, the Core 4 has not seen each other since the show ended. But we have been seeing crumbs here and there that clearly show that y'all have seen each other since the show has ended. Make it make sense! Like Brennedy and Karnaya were together for Watch What Happens Live. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? We know that they've seen each other already, but y'all gotta act like y'all haven't seen each other. Unless this is going for an Emmy submission, y'all. So then we get to last night. So last night, they decided to do a red carpet event for the Islanders, quote unquote, arriving for the reunion. Because the reunion, as we speak, is taping all day. It is going to be 2 long parts. One part that was filming in the morning, one part that was filming in the afternoon, and each are going to be 6 hours each. And you had to register and get approved for tickets for each of them. Now, I am still anti a live studio audience because ultimately some of the people on the Twitters that were confirming that they had tickets to the reunion were the same people who were making threats to Trinity and Anaya and were posting screenshots basically saying Trinity and Anaya duck, Beatrice and Anaya duck. No. So there was a rumor today that somebody was trying to boo Casey, and they said that if you're going to be doing any booing, they're going to throw you out. So maybe they gave strict rules. Do not say anything. You know what I mean? Maybe clap when we go into commercial, or maybe clap and cheer when these Islanders come out or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what this is going to be feeling like. I just know the audience, it better not be like a Baddies or a Love and Hip Hop type of situation where audience participation can jump on the stage as well. But the biggest tell last night was the fact that we saw the Islanders come through, and we saw that they did not bring in the Core 4's men with them. And I feel like they took a page out of what Anaya and Carl did for Watch What Happens Live, how it wasn't like Brennedy arriving together. They were technically arriving together, but they had Anaya walk in first as she's the focal point and have her go meet Carl's mom and everything else, so that Carl's either far behind or far ahead or whatever, but not too far away. So it's like the moment's about Anaya. So what they did last night is they had after all of the dump islanders went through, so they had the Casa people go first. They had Dylan and Kenzie and Casey and TT go next, right? You know what I'm saying? Then once they got all the dumped islanders out of the way, like Corbin, all of them, then they had the core 4 men go, right? The men of the core 4. They all got to do their individual thing. I loved Bryce's suit. Carl, I didn't realize he had a brooch that had a frog on there, I guess to be like Princess and the Frog. I guess maybe to give a throwback to the date that him and Anaya had on the finale, right? So I thought that was interesting, very much into the details. So then you guys, it was showtime for the core 4. It was showtime for the core 4, and they are the superstars. They are going to be the next big thing for this next year and potentially beyond. You know what I'm saying? So get your wallets out. That's what it was given to me, because the entire carpet was shut down at that point. I didn't see any other Islanders. It was just the fans. It was just the press. It was pandemonium. It was pandemonium. Was this the Cheetah Girls? Was this Destiny's Child? Like, what are we doing? There was so much love. And that's why I'm telling the core 4 girls, ignore the hate on the internet. Ignore the shadiness on the internet, because that energy that those fans gave y'all last night should let y'all know y'all can really do this. Y'all can really do this. Cosmopolitan cover where? Vogue cover where? Commercials together where? Brand deals together where? Trips together where? Sex in the City, girlfriends type of vibe where? Sign me up. Don't do a Beyond the Villa like what y'all did with season 6 and played in their face. We told y'all we wanted PPG and PPG only, and y'all gave us Connor, y'all gave us Aaron, y'all gave us people we weren't interested in. But if you do it right and start the cameras new and have the show come out by November, December, and you put a primary focus on core 4 and their men and their immediate adjustment to their newfound fame, relationships, brand deals, their families. Don't have them all move into that apartment complex. Let them all be where they're at. So if Anaya primarily is in Atlanta, let her be there. And we know primarily Melanie and Trinity will be in Los Angeles. Let them be there. And we know until things get assorted, Kata primarily will be in New Hampshire. And let them figure it out. You got a gold mine that you are sitting on, Peacock, but you're being stingy with these Islanders. You are being so stingy. You want to be so protective of these podcasts because you didn't want an Ace and Huda situation to happen where somebody says and does something explosive, and by the time y'all get to the reunion, there's not that much tea. But the thing of it is, so many people have been quiet. So really, all you're really going to pick apart, if we're going to be honest, is all of Soul's Crash Out Lives, all of the BN3's Crash Out Lives, Casey and Tay-Tay's YouTube channel, Corbin's Q&A that he did is going to be the primary focus. And then getting into, TT's comments on After Sun. And that live stream that Soul did where Kenzie was in the background throwing shade and Kenzie's Call Her Daddy interview. I feel like the social media stuff might be major storylines if Andy feels that he's not getting enough out of some of the major storylines on the show. Because I feel like Kenzie's going to have a major storyline. I feel like Anaya and Casey are going to have a major storyline. But I feel like Anaya in particular, if her Watch What Happened Live, appearance is any indication, I feel like she's trying to be onward and upward. That she's going to be like, listen, look here, I said all I needed to say in the villa. I ain't got nothing else to say. But what I will say is I thought that we were good. I thought we apologized. And to see some of the stuff that I'm seeing outside of the show, I do have questions about that. Because I'm not a person to flippity flop if we've resolved the issue, right? But last night it was pandemonium. A lot of the girls, when they had time, went to go, take photos, take pictures with the fans. But the thing of it was, the press was on them like white on rice. The press, everybody wanted an interview. So, but there was a chant for Core 4, Core 4, and it was everything. Now, here's the thing, you guys. The Core 4, it is not racist. And the Core 4 is not all about OGs. We specifically were presented a friendship of these 4 islanders, which is why we call them the Core 4. It is not shade to Kenzie. It has nothing to do with her being an OG or anything of the sort. It is what the friendships presented to us, and we know within the Core 4 that Anaya and Melanie are super close, and Trinity and Kata are super close, and everything else as well. But it is nothing, you know what I'm saying? And looking in retrospect, if Casey and TT were in the Final 4, or if Kenzie and Dylan were in the Final 4, we wouldn't get this. We wouldn't get this type of pandemonium and this type of excitement, because it is something about these 4 girls' specific chemistry that takes it to the next level. Not too much on, Sincere and Zack Attack. That's why we keep saying the Core 4. Zack Attack has understood that he is hated, so he has taken on the role of content creation. And he is giving the Karnaya fans all the Karnaya crumbs in existence. Like, people were trying to throw shade because Anaya, during the day, had on her JLo Y2K jean jumpsuit and some red high-heeled boots. And they were like, how are you going to walk around Universal Studios all day in those heels? Aren't your feet going to hurt? Only for later on to Carl piggyback Anaya on the walk back. or wherever they were walking to. You know what I'm saying? She said, listen, look at here. I'm going to get this princess treatment anytime. Also, Anaya had posted a behind the scenes in her Instagrammy channel about when her and Carl got reunited, because he got to go to the Denver Broncos, the NFL team's facility, and they gave him a jersey. He got to meet some of the players and all this and all of that. When he flew in from Denver to LA to be there for the reunion and stuff, him and Anaya got DoorDash or whatever the case may be. But why did Anaya, she went from those long 2-piece pajamas, with the pants, the button down, long sleeve shirt. Why was the short lace? Why was the short lace back when Carl was in team? I don't know what else Carl and Anaya got to do to prove to y'all that that's the real deal Holyfield. Ever since he was talking about some easy access and he preferred dress and her to wear short stuff, she knows what she's doing. Bryce posted a tickety talk yesterday of the Core 4 men talking about the boys are back in town, except for Carl missed the memo because he was looking at Anaya's ASS in those jeans. You know what I'm saying? like that's what was happening. Y'all are not acting like that for somebody you're not interested in and you're not romantically dealing with, y'all. It is just that Anaya and Carl are approaching how they're going to share the content with y'all. But if you're a part of Anaya's channel, or if you are in cahoots with some Karnaya fans, you're going to get this tea. You know what I'm saying? Or some of the major tickety talk creators that are tracking every single thing, Carl and Anaya, you're going to get that tea. So where we're at now is, like I said, they're filming the reunion right now as we speak. I don't understand the logic of doing the red carpet last night and then they come back today in the same look, barely getting any sleep and having to get back into glam in the same outfits they wore last night. Like, do you have time to get it dry cleaned? Do you have time to get, everything steamed and cleaned and fresh for, 12 plus hours of taping today? I don't know. I was just trying to make it make sense. I loved the makeup artist that did Anaya's makeup last night, which was Ken, because that is Kiki Palmer's makeup artist. And she has done makeup for Shelly and Alandria, and I loved every time she did it over the last year, right? So she did Anaya's last night for the Universal, I don't know for Universal Studios, but definitely for the red carpet for last night for Love Island Reunion. So I don't know when the press is going to come out for the red carpet interviews that some of the Islanders did last night. Some of the fans are already coming out alleging who was nice and who was rude. It seemed like, obviously, and a surprise to nobody, that the core four were the nicest people and sweet to everyone and try to, talk to as many fans as possible. But when you're in demand, you know what I'm saying, everybody's pulling you for the press, there's only so much interaction you can have. But it sounded like it was a good time. I will come back and keep y'all posted if there's any other tea, because I really want to know the fallout of this reunion. Who's going to unfollow each other, or they're going to wait till the reunion airs, which is not until August 31st. Who's going to go out to eat after this is over, or all y'all going to go y'all separate ways in y'all hotel rooms and just DoorDash it? Like I just need the tea. Who's going to go on live and be like, oh yeah, the reunion was a mess, or the reunion was great, or I got to say everything I needed to say, and I can't wait for y'all to see it, only for your scenes to be chopped and screwed. So, I mean, I just want to know. I just want to know, but I just wanted to give y'all that. I wanted to give y'all some love. I wanted to give y'all 45 minutes to talk to y'all, because y'all know I don't be talking this long. Y'all know I don't be talking this long unless I'm doing a long extended review of a show or whatever the case may be. But it's been a week, and there's a lot that has happened with these Islanders for season 8. But Core 4 is where it's at. Core 4 is where it's at. They are the next big thing. Put it on a t-shirt. They are the moment. They are the stars. They are one of the bright spots of the season. So I love everything about it, y'all. I truly believe they're good, kind people at heart. They're genuine people at heart. This is completely different from last season, where you had a lot of influencers on the show that are all about doing anything for clout and attention. That's not the case for this season. It seems like overall, they're very genuine and kind people, and they really just want to shine. They really just want to shine. They really just want to enjoy their friendships and enjoy their men and keep it pushing. And that's all you just let them do it. Yes, we got issues from certain storylines that happened on the show, but if these people are still going to choose to stay with their men, what can you do? What can we do, right? And I saw that there's already another hate train on Zack Attack and Bryce. Y'all are already getting irritated with them in the pictures together. Y'all are already so mad, right? But what are you guys really mad about? If they are happy in their relationships? I don't know. Anyways, that is it for this video. I need y'all to do me the biggest favor and do y'all biggest one, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. Hype the video like you never hyped a video before in your life. There is that. That is it. That is all. It's Todos es Vidal. It's Benito. Is he in the road? Is he in the line for this video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post the content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.